welcome to DADI SOS Study on Spotlight. I'm Sophie, and today we are here at University of Queensland with Dr. Chung. Hi, Dr. Chung.
Hi everybody.
All right, so if you are considering to study abroad in Australia, or maybe you are already here, then you are in the right place. So today we're going to talk about some study hacks that's really work, especially for international students. And I believe today we really have a great guest with us, a lecturer from the UQ University, which one of the top universities in Australia.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me.
All right. So whether you are struggling with the procrastination, stress, or maybe you just would like to look for some tips to improve your study, I believe this will be a great episode for you to watch. So let's start with the basics one. What kind of study method you think it is good for students, or any study method that you will recommend to your students?
Mm-hmm. You know, every student is unique. Mm-hmm. So every student has their own way of studying. And I think it's really important that they understand how they work. So it's very hard for us to prescribe, to say you must spend this many hours a day, doing whatever it is that you need to do. But I would say understand when you can concentrate on different types of work, mm-hmm. whether it's going to your lectures and being able to absorb information through the lectures, or if you find that you need more time to be able to understand what's happening, so you watch the recordings that we make mm-hmm. afterwards as well. But really knowing how you're able to learn difficult concepts, because you're at university. It's going to be learning new skills mm-hmm. and it's going to be challenging. So we try to do our best in our teaching program to make sure that we make all of our material accessible and available to our students. Mm-hmm. So we would love you to come to our live lectures. This is the place where you can ask your questions live and get that feedback straight away. Mm-hmm. But as always, all of our material is recorded and available online through our online platforms, which means that after the class, you can always go back and look and check again what we were talking about. And if you have more questions, we have discussion boards available mm-hmm. where our tutors and our lecturers go on and we can answer questions for you ad hoc whenever they come up. Mm-hmm. So I would say, know how you study. That's my top tip.
Okay. So from your own perspective, or maybe from your own experience, do you think study group or study alone will be better?
I would always think studying in a group helps mm-hmm. because you get to share ideas.
Oh.
And there's always going to be cases where maybe you understood something more clearly that somebody else didn't, and mm-hmm. you can help to explain to them. And that process of explaining to them helps you, fortify that knowledge in your own brain. So I think it's a wonderful experience to study together. Mm-hmm. Of course, some people may find that if they really need to concentrate on something or to solve a problem, that working alone and having that introspective moment is mm-hmm. important as well. I would say, again, figure out what kind of mix works for you mm-hmm. and leverage all of your sources. You've got your teachers, you've got your peers, everybody can help.
Yep. Okay. So let's talk about the procrastinations. Sometimes we all do that, like putting things off until last minute.
Yeah.
Is there any quick fix that you can recommend students to overcome mm-hmm. these bad habits?
Yeah. So we do have assessments throughout mm-hmm. the semester, and given that we only have 13 weeks in our semester, quite often the assessments come roughly at the same time. So you're usually doing 3 or 4 classes a semester, which means you'll have 3 or 4 assessments possibly due at the same mm-hmm. time. Now, we don't release them to you right before they're due. We give them to you as soon as we can. And so that's an indication of when you should start thinking about it. And I know procrastination is easier than working on something before the deadline is mm-hmm. due. But to really help yourself stage and plan and give yourself the time to succeed at these things. So remember, we give them to you early, not because they're due early, but because we want you to spend and have all of that time available to you, not just for our assessments, mm-hmm. but we know you have other assessments mm-hmm. as well. So all of that time is for you to use to be as successful as you can be.
Mm-hmm. Okay, what about exam anxiety? I mean, most of the students, sometimes they will have the exam anxiety, especially maybe for the international students. Mm-hmm. So is there any way or any tips that you can suggest for students to calming down themselves?
Mm-hmm. So it's very normal to mm-hmm. feel that extra stress during exam period, because usually exams are worth quite a fair chunk of your assessment value. Mm-hmm. And you've got the whole semester there to help you prepare for that. So it's not that we just give you the exam, but we give you 13 weeks of knowledge. And we just want you to show us what you've learned. So one thing to maybe think about is we don't design the assessments to trick you. We don't design the assessments to catch you out. We want you to do well. We really do want you to do well. So there's nothing adversarial really about the exam. We are trying to give you all the knowledge that you need to succeed. And the exam is our tool to understand whether or not you learned it. It's also a feedback mechanism for us to understand whether we have been teaching it well. So if everybody is struggling on a concept, it's information for us to know maybe we need to explain it better as well. But this exam anxiety, we just want to know how well you picked up the knowledge. We're not trying to push you so hard.
Just make sure you're on track.
Exactly. We just want to know that you're on track, because the purpose of the assessment is for us to say, yes, you've picked up the knowledge that we need to say that you can pass this course. And we are going to give you everything you need to know throughout those 13 weeks leading up to it. So make sure that you are familiar with all that content, that you've been engaging with the course content, you've been coming to classes, been asking questions throughout all of the different channels that we have available to you. And then you can feel confident that if you've had all your questions answered, then you should just be able to show us during the exam everything that you've learned.
Yeah, I believe every student, they should understand about this. Is that the exam is actually just for the school or for maybe for the lecturer to know, to make sure that you have picked up everything. Yep. So let's talk about the study environment. So we know it's important for students to have like a suitable environment for them to study. Any place that you recommend students?
Yeah, we have many study areas. The libraries all have booths and tables and desks with PowerPoint. So whether you bring your own device or if you need to use one of the computers here at UQ, plenty of different resources that you can access. And then also we have lots of different study rooms available to you as well, where we can also access, thank you very much, lots of different study rooms available to you so you can work in teams as well. So we have our library here at the engineering department, but we also have our main library on campus.
The general one?
The general library. Loads of study spaces available. We also have study rooms scattered around the different departments. So if you are doing a thesis project, for example, that there are computers that are available to you. There are resources like soldering stations and oscilloscopes if you need to use them for a project. These are all available to our students, and we encourage you to use them.
But I believe during the exam weeks, it must be like full.
It is. It's very busy during exam weeks. Yeah.
How about any outdoors places that you recommend? Because I know UQ, you guys do have a lake here.
Yes.
And also like a lot of just the outdoor places. Any place that you recommend students?
Yeah, definitely. UQ, I think, has one of the most beautiful campuses that I've ever worked on. And we have basically a botanical garden on campus. So it's really nice to be outside, especially in the beautiful Brisbane weather. We have a number of lakes and lots of seating area outside that you can also work with, either just to enjoy the outside, or if you want to study outside, there's also options here. So down by the lake, definitely. Also on our Great Court is a wonderful place. You'll see lots of students there, especially during the warmer months, just outside, relaxing in the sun, talking about what they're studying. Yeah. So a lot of amazing spaces here at UQ for you to concentrate, study, and just enjoy the campus.
So just now you also mentioned that students are always welcome. Reach out back to their lecturers, to the tutors about about the problems they face in their studies. So other than that, do UQ provides any workshop or support to students to make sure that they can overcome the stress or anxiety they face during the exam weeks?
We have Student Central. So Student Central is right in the middle of campus, and it provides a number of different workshops and study plans to help students work out exactly how they can concentrate best. So what are the different strategies that they can use in order to succeed at their assessments, their exams? Student Central is the place to go, and they run regular workshops there.
I see. Okay. I believe it's really helpful for students.
Yeah, absolutely.
And also sometimes, we all know sleep is important, but sometimes during the exam week, students might feel guilty to sleep. sometimes
you should not feel guilty to sleep. Sleep is so important. It's so important. You absolutely need it because you need to take breaks. I think this idea that you study constantly 100% of the time, I think is a myth. You'll collapse. I think you try to do that. So sleep is very, very important. And I think studies even show that if you study, if you're concentrating on something like for an exam, you need to have that moment of rest to help that knowledge settle in your brain. Yeah, exactly. And when you wake up, you're much better at recollecting facts and different things that you've been studying the day before. So I think sleep is a part of the study program. I think you need to factor that in. Absolutely.
How about exercise?
Same thing. I think when we talk about taking breaks, you're taking breaks from the activity that you're spending a lot of time doing. So it's maybe that the way that you relax or the way that you can unwind is to go out and do physical exercise. So after a day of concentrating really hard on an assessment, maybe you want to go play tennis. Maybe you want to play hockey. We have a wonderful sports center here, a wonderful aquatic center as well. So taking the time for yourself so that you can recharge the different parts of your body and your brain are really going to help you succeed in your university studies.
Just recharge and refreshing yourself during the exam weeks.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so for some students, maybe coming from the high pressure education systems, and they might feel a bit different when they first reach out Australia for their studies. Any advice will you give to the students to make sure they relax themselves during the studies? Yeah.
So here in Australia and in UQ especially, study is self-motivated and self-driven. Like everybody who comes here, you're adults and we treat you like adults. So we're not going to tell you how to study. That's really up to you to discover for yourself and to understand about yourself. But that means it requires self-motivation. And it requires a little bit of diligence and some discipline. But it doesn't require you to be on 100% of the time, right? We talked about how important sleep is, about having ways to unwind. I think having that balance is extremely important. So you're here in Australia, so experience this education system that we have. And what we have is a whole community and a whole bunch of different things that you can do to grow your career paths and to grow your capabilities.
All right. And we all know that UQ is actually one of the top universities in Australia. So what makes it stand out from other universities?
I think we have an amazing teaching program and an amazing research program. Obviously, the two main pillars of what we do at the university. So we really have a great focus on making sure that our education programs are top tier. We're really looking at what the industry needs are. So where are our students going when they graduate? And what skills are the employers looking for? Because we want to set up our students for success. So if industry is evolving, we need to also evolve our programs to match those needs. So we're looking specific skills that we know our engineering students need to have in order to be competitive on the job market. And I think that's one thing that makes us stand out. The other is our research is top notch. So if you want to continue in academia, you want to continue in research, do a PhD, there's so many opportunities here at UQ. We have wonderful research programs. We talked about robotics already, which is my background. And we have an amazing set of open problems that we would love to have engaged and active students to come and work with us on. So this is, I think, all together, we bridge the education part. It's our talent pipeline for people who want to go out into industry, but also people who want to stay in academia and continue contributing to research. I think we think of this as one holistic part of the university.
How about a specialty for the international students?
So for the international students, I mean, we offer the same experience, whether you're domestic or international. And I think for the international students, we also have a very large community of international students here at UQ. It means that when you arrive here, you don't feel completely alone. I think there's a lot of other people who are in a similar situation to you. And Australia is so multicultural, I think it's really wonderful that if you miss home, you can always find a restaurant that's going to feed you food that reminds you of home as well here. And the international program here, I think, is really wonderful because we not only support the bachelor's program, but also the master's program. And in both of these, we're really looking at how we can extend your skill set and your capabilities to make you competitive, not just domestically, not just for our domestic job market, but internationally as well. I think UQ is very competitive on that front.
All right. Thank you for sharing us about that. And I believe it's come to the end of today's podcast. So thanks again for
Thanks so much,
Dr. Chung
Sophie.
to have us these sessions today. So I believe everyone should pick up some useful ideas and also know how to study smarter and also manage your time better.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
All right, thanks so much.
Thank you. So if you have also, if you are also thinking about studying at UQ or if you have any questions, just feel free to reach out us at Study Educations. And if you also like this episode and found out it is helpful, share this video to your friends, like and subscribe our channel for more tips and advice. And see you in next episode. Bye bye.